All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Coming at you with another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashim Shai. So, this is a video I want to do a response to the second in command, the brother Azariah. Beautiful video. Click on the channel to get edified. So, he's going in on how the Lord dealt with Saul for a time, right? So there's a point that I wanted to get of dealing with Saul. So we're going to start at, let's start at the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23. And this is Samuel speaking to Saul. It says, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is an iniquity in idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king." What makes it so heavy, it says, "For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry." So these are two things that we have to be mindful of, right? You can't be rebellious to the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You can't be stubborn to the things that will be beneficial to us. Because the word of the Lord is beautiful. And what he says is not to hurt us, but to help us. When we stray away from these things, which he have given us, his law, statutes, and commandments, his ways. When we stray away from these things, what do we start to do? We start to live in rebellion. We start to get into different things that's contrary to how he would have us to be. Now we're dealing with the example of King Saul, right? Which he ended up being stripped, or this title, this position has ended up being taken from him because his rebelliousness, because his stubbornness of what the Lord have commanded him to do. Now, it's another scripture. Let's get this real quick. Doesn't it says, "I suffer not a witch to live"? No, that's back here. When you go to the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 18, it says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." So it's linking up rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So you go into the witchcraft, it says a person that's into what? Divination, right? A reward of divination, divine sentence, witchcraft. All right. And you also got oracle there as well. Now, when we go up, what's taking place of why Samuel said this to King Saul. Let's go to the story. It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. It says, "Samuel also said unto Saul, The Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for them in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling ox, and sheep and camel and ass." And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get ye down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah unto the cometh to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag in best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and of the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refuse, what that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. So Saul was in what? He was rebellious to what the Lord have commanded him to do. Saul had a specific job to do, and it was to crush everyone in that land and everything that they had. Not something of what they thought would be beneficial to them, or what they thought that would profit them of, you know what, let me save King Agag, and let me save the best of the sheep and the best of this and the best of that. No, his job was specifically to crush everything in his path, dealing with Amalek and the things that they have. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. So let's read verse 13 again. And Samuel said, What meaneth Slakia? And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. So Saul, thinking he performed the commandment of the Lord because he went and smited the Amalekites and, got rid of the vow and refused things, right? But did he not know, or was he not paying attention? And I'm just, speaking in my head. Did he not know that he didn't do specifically what the Lord said? Why? Because he saved the king Agag, which he wasn't supposed to do, and he kept the best sheep and oxen, which he wasn't supposed to do. The things that they thought would be good for them. And if the Lord wanted them to keep, a certain person alive and, different beasts of the field, he would have said that, get rid of the lame of this and the lame of that, and, keep the unblemished this. And, the Lord would have made that very clear if he wanted that to take place. And the Lord made very clear what he wanted to do, and Saul did not perform it. So now Saul is speaking to Samuel, saying, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, What meaneth this? What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which are here? So if you're telling me you're doing what the Lord said, then why do I hear sheep? Why do I hear oxen? Wasn't it told to you to destroy the things in this land? Will these Amalekites destroy what they have? Wasn't this told to you? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou was little in thy own sight, was thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel? And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Right? So consumed, kala. I just want to hit the points. It says to complete, to be finished, perished, to cease, to destroy, consume away, destroy utterly, expire, be an end of, finish, fulfill, quite take away, waste, make a clean riddance. Verse 19, Wherefore thou didst not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord. So what did he do? But did his fly, swoop down upon? So this will be figuratively. But did his fly upon the spoil, which they did? They took the spoil, because that's what happens when you destroy nations. You take what they had, which will be a spoil. But the Lord didn't want them to do that, and did his evil in the sight of the Lord. So this was the evil thing that Saul had done. Why? Because he disobeyed the word of the Lord. Verse 20, and Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me. And you see, so he keep reiterating of, look, I obeyed the voice of the Lord, which he didn't. He partially did, right? But see, when it comes to the Lord, you got to fully do it. It's not something you can be a half-ass do and think this was acceptable with the Lord. And the Lord was not, this was not acceptable. Read further down, it says, and Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice to the Lord thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel says, Have the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. So he says, look, you're trying to do a sacrifice, but the Lord wants you to do, he has you on a totally different mission. And you talking about you want to take good oxen and the best of these sheep, right, to do a sacrifice unto the Lord. But you can't even listen to what the Lord told you to do. Because the Lord didn't need this from you right now. What the Lord needed you to do was go and destroy the Amalekites and everything that, that was around them, all their beasts. Not take them with you. Verse 23, it says, For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. You see that? And this is why, Saul was rejected. I'll read verse down. Now, therefore, I pray thee, pardon my sin and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. Right? So this was a serious thing that, Saul did not do. He disobeyed the word of the Lord. Yes, all by doing what he thought, was right. Now, as he stated, he's saying he done it because he feared the people. Right? That's what Saul said. He says what? He says, and Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. And the person that whom he was supposed to fear was Yahweh Shema Shai. And he was supposed to what? Obey his voice. Okay? He was supposed to obey his voice. So that's whose voice you're supposed to obey. You're supposed to obey Yahweh Shema Shai first and foremost. If someone is telling you to do something differently than what Yahweh Shema have said, these people, no, you're not supposed to hearken to them. No. Absolutely not. You're supposed to obey the voice, the Lord thy God. Okay? Yahweh Shema Shai. So I just wanted to touch on that to the spirit. Like I said, I was listening to the brothers' video in the camp, how going into the food for thought. The Lord dealt with Saul for a time. He dealt with Saul for a time, and Saul was rebellious to what the Lord commanded him to do. And what did he do? He took the spirit off of him. He quit dealing with Saul, so to speak, right? Well, I'll say he quit dealing with Saul. He rejected him so he wouldn't be king over him. So he wouldn't be the king over the tribes. And then if you know the continue on the story, the kingship ended up being passed to whom? King David. So I just wanted to touch on that to the spirit. Lord willing, was edifying. So next time I want to say shalom.